Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Technical Tim here, and I want to thank everyone so much who's been liking all my videos and subscribing to the channel. And I'd really appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't already. And I think I'm live right now, and I'm just gonna do a quick final thoughts video on UFC 247. I'll go through I'm not gonna go too in depth in each fight. I went more in depth on a podcast earlier this week. But if you have any questions, just ask those, and I'll try to get to them at the end as well. And I'm not feeling too well, so I apologize if I don't seem with it, but should be able to push through this real quick. But let's start just straight up at the bottom. I'm not going to say much about Lingo and Zalala. It's kind of like lower level. There's some unknowns there, so I'm not really going to go into it. Andre Ewell and Jonathan Martinez. I researched a little more, and I'm fine with the odds being pretty close. I tend to think that I do think Ewell has the better hands here, so I could see some success there, and I do think he's got a little better takedown defense than I don't have a play here, but I think he has a little better takedown defense, especially like on initial shots than maybe people are kind of giving him credit for. But it's still like he still has some holes in his game where it can be a little concerning. Martinez is pretty good with his kicks, and I just kind of see it as a competitive fight. I don't see a huge opportunity either way. Pilarte and Journey Newson. I think I tend to lean Pilarte simply because of the hype, but the thing is I just he doesn't have a ton of striking offense, but I don't see a huge skill gap between these guys. So I guess I favor like the guy who's longer, because I mean reach advantages statistically matter a lot, and he's got a huge one here. I've heard some rumblings that there might be some late action coming in on Pilarte, just so you guys know, so you can kind of make a decision if you want to pull the trigger on either one of them. I have heard that, but we'll see what happens. I probably lean a little bit Pilarte, but like I said, on the Ewell fight and the Pilarte fight, I really just do not have action. Miles Johns and Mario Batista. This is kind of I tend to think Batista's going to win this. I really do. I feel like he's the better striker, definitely the busier striker. I mean, he landed like 120 significant strikes in his last fight versus Son, which is incredible for a 3-round fight. But I don't like the fact that he has a tendency to brawl. And I do think Johns actually hits quite hard. So with the fact that that's what scares me here. I feel like if Bautista didn't brawl as much, I'd feel comfortable playing him even at like close to even money. People who got on him early, plus 150, 160 was definitely a good play. But I still I usually fade moments like that, but I feel like he's gonna get hurt at some point. But I do think Bautista will overall be winning like more minutes of the fight. I just could see Miles Johns kind of landing something big, to be honest. I do think Bautista does a good job of giving up his back to get back up. So I don't think all I've seen really Johns do. It's kind of the Mike Grundy thing. I had a lean that Grundy wouldn't be able to hold Nad Narimani down because of this concept. Because Mike Grundy kind of just lays in your guard to hold you down. And I noticed on tape Nad gives up his back, fight hands, and gets up. And I think that concept is going to happen here. I've only seen Johns really be able to lay in people's guard, even though Nad ended up getting knocked out on the feet, but the grappling kind of went that way. And I tend to think Bautista will be able to get up consistently. So I tend to think he's going to win, but I do think Johns can land some spot takedowns to maybe land some big shots, and that's kind of it. I do think Bautista is going to win that fight, though. Hold on one second. Got a quick message here. Okay, cool. Next fight, Alex Morono and Kalen Williams. I think Alex Morono, he should win this fight. Williams tends to gas a little bit. Morono is actually, like, statistically a really good striker, and I think he's a very technical striker as well. And he's definitely the better striker in this matchup, so Kalen will probably have to land a big shot, but there is still enough. Even though Morono's a much better submission grappler on the mat, I do think Morono only defends takedowns at 33%, and he doesn't have the best takedown defense. So I could see a path to victory of Williams maybe landing some takedowns here and there. But I tend to think Williams doesn't have enough depth to his game once on the mat to really do anything except maybe hold him down, which, I mean... So yeah, like, I could see something like that, but Morono does get taken down a lot, but I think he's overall better, and he'll probably... I think he's going to be at a big advantage on the feet. Then Andrea Lee and Lauren Murphy. There's actually late action coming in on Lauren Murphy right now. Let's look at best fight odds. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it looks like, yeah, Lee was like getting up to minus 400. So now she's minus 305. So not like a huge swing. That's only like a 4 to 5% implied difference, but a little bit, like a decent enough to get your attention. But I tend to think that I think Lee's a little bit better, but I do think Murphy is a little better than people might give her credit for. Like, she just doesn't get hit that often on the feet. Like, she only gets landed on like 3 times per minute. So I could see her maybe like keeping this competitive a little bit, but I do expect Andrea Lee to win. If Andrea Lee's decision line is around, like, if you can get it around like even money to minus 150, I think that is a better way to play her, because I don't think she's going to finish Lauren Murphy. Like, Lauren Murphy's never been finished before, and she's been on the mat with like Sijara Eubanks and good grapplers, and she has good guard retention as well. So I think she should be okay as far as not getting finished. So if you're on Lee, I think just playing her decision line would be better. And then Trevin Giles and Antonio Arroyo. This actually just got canceled, and it's going to be James Krause now against Trevin Giles. And I haven't been able to like tape or really research this fight, but I was kind of just like broadly thinking about it and taking a look at it. And even though Giles is a middleweight and Krause will be going up, Krause is actually 6'2". Like, he's not like a huge welterweight, but at least he's tall. Like, that's good. So he's not completely outmatched as far as the frame. I'm sure Giles is probably the much bigger man, though, considering he cuts down to 185, and Krause was able just to make weight today, like, doing nothing. But at least he's not like at a huge disadvantage on the frame. And James Krause, if you guys watch that one grappling tournament that they had on Fight Pass, James Krause subbed King Mo. So I mean, he's skilled enough to where he can probably, like, it wouldn't be a shock if he like outskilled Giles on the mat even, or if like, Krause keeps up a high rate of strikes too. The odds haven't come out yet, so I'll take a look. But I think Krause can win that fight, honestly. Like, initial thoughts, so I haven't really gone too deep into it. But Krause lands at a high rate, and he's a skilled fighter. And thanks for the comments too. And if you guys have any questions, just pop them in there and I'll get to them. But yeah, I'm just kind of throwing out my initial thoughts on that Krause fight. Like, Krause is a more skilled fighter, but he'll be smaller. But he's not giving up too much range, and I think the reach is 74 to 73 inch, so it's not like a huge disadvantage or anything there either. So yeah, I'll probably have to get back to that one and just kind of think about it. Derek Lewis and Alir Latifi. Lewis, the lines come down here too. Let's take a look. which I expected it to. I didn't think Lewis was like Lewis at minus 300 is kind of just crazy. Because if he doesn't knock you out, I know he won a decision against Blagoy Ivanov, but if he doesn't knock you out, there's a good chance that he's not winning the fight. Yeah, he's come down to minus 215 on 5 dimes, minus 215 on Pinnacle. I don't have like this. I tend to think. I think I favor Lewis, but even minus 215, I don't think is worth playing or anything. And I think like Latifi kind of, if you can get him well over plus 200, if you like taking a shot at underdogs, I do think he's a bit live because I don't think he can sub. All he does, like the thing about Latifi is he takes you down and he doesn't put hooks in. If you've noticed that, he literally does not put hooks in, and he'll just jump to a guillotine from like a front headlock. And I tend to think Lewis should be able to defend that. So he probably can just explode out, honestly, Lewis. But then as far as the decision path, that could always be a thing against Lewis. Like Latifi could just like land a little more strikes, maybe land a takedown here and there, and he could always swing and knock him out. So Latifi has paths to victory, but I'm not going to mess with it. Ige and Bektik, this is another, I think this is just kind of a stay away as well. I think it's just a competitive fight. I do think Bektik has a significant advantage when it comes to defending takedowns. Like I'm very, very confident that he's going to be able to stop Ige's takedown attempts if Ige really goes for them. So what bothers me about playing Ige is I think the path to victory, it kind of limits his path to victory of maybe having to win on the feet, where I don't necessarily think Ige, I don't think he can win on the mat. Like I think he's going to have to kind of win on the feet, unless if he catches Bektik in some type of back take. So I don't know. But then at the same time, Bektik just has trouble landing offense as far as strikes goes sometimes. So it's kind of just I just see it as a competitive fight. And then Juan Adams and Justin Tafa, I have a play on Adams. I've gotten a lot of shit for like playing this, but I just think Tafa's kind of low level. I'm not gonna say much more about it, but I think Adams can have success with the front headlock, and I think he'll do well once he's on the mat as well. And I still think like the 6'5" frame, I could see Tafa landing a big shot, but I really just think he's kind of KO or bust. So that's the reasoning on Adams. You guys kind of know where I'm at on that one. Shevchenko and Chookagian, I'm also not going to say too much here. I think Chookagian could win a decision here, and I do expect this fight to play out. So you can't play minus 855 on Shevchenko. But I still think she's going to land a lot of takedowns. I mean, Jennifer Maia held Chookagian down for the entire third round, and we've seen other people like Liz Carmouche do it. So Valentina, I feel like, will limit the offense of Chookagian on the feet because she's generally hard to hit, and I feel like the takedowns will be key for Shevchenko. And then John Jones's Reyes, I think the line's perfectly fine. I'm also not going to play it, but I tend to think John Jones, I just feel like there's narrow paths to victory for Dominic Reyes because, I mean, he's going to get nothing going on the mat. So he's either got to knock Jones out or outstrike him for 25 minutes and outstrike him more than all the offense that will be coming back his own way. So it's kind of like the KO path is probably pretty low percentage because, like I said, John Jones has some of the best head strike defense in MMA, and he's got a good chin. So his path to victory is almost winning by a decision throughout 25 minutes against a more diverse fighter who also, I think, has better cardio as well. And I really think Reyes springs up well once on the mat, but I have a feeling if he gets stuck there, Jones can really go to work on him. Like, I'm not convinced Reyes can totally defend himself once he's stuck on the mat. Like, I'm not sure. I don't know if he's got like any type of guard game. And once John gets on top of you, it's scary. So I just feel like Jones has so many ways to win. And Reyes he's only had 2 3-round fights, and he still got hit. He lost the head strike battle to Volkan Ozdemir, and even though he outstruck OSP very clean, he still got landed on the like at a high clip on the strikes that OSP actually attempted. If you watch that fight, OSP only attempted like 78 total strikes, but landed like nearly half of them. And we know Jones is going to throw a lot, in my opinion. I think the only time Jones hasn't thrown a lot was against Thiago Santos, and I think that was just a stylistic thing with leg kicks. So I tend to think Jones is going to be perfectly fine here. So that's my opinion on that. Um, but that's like really all I have. I'm not going to go too in depth, and I don't think I'm going to have too many questions because I'm still kind of getting the hang of this live chat and not like advertising too much. But Ben asked, am I wrong in thinking that a lot of the prelim fights have potential to go inside the distance? Lingo Zalal, yes. Pilarte Newson, what are the ITD odds on that? I tend to think Pilarte Newson might go to the cards, but I could see like some type of back take or something happening. So like I don't have the strongest opinions on that one. Morono Williams, I think that one will get finished. I've seen Williams like in guillotines on the regionals to where Arroyo's got or Morono's got a legitimate guillotine. I have a feeling that one's not going to go to the card, so I agree with that one. So yeah, like I could see a lot of fights kind of ending inside the distance for sure. Um, but I'm gonna go and kind of research that Kraus fight and really look at the line when it comes out. If he's like a huge dog, I could have some interest in him, but we'll kind of see what happens. But um, yeah, that's pretty much all I have. And if there's no more questions, I think I'm gonna roll. But I do have. I'm gonna have 4 or 5 money. Like the only play I really have is Adams. I know it's kind of boring. Um, But I just think I saw the first round of that Tafa's last regional fight that like pretty much no one's seen, and it was really concerning if you haven't seen it. So like he was mounted on the mat against a pretty low level guy, and I just feel like Adams is going to get him there at some point, and Tafa's just probably going to have to either he might get finished or he'll have to like put him away to compensate for a likely big round for Adams, because like it was really bad that first round of Tafa that I saw on the regionals, and Tafa's only beaten 3 people, and those 3 people have never beaten anyone with a win. So I just feel like this is a bit of a levels thing. A lot of people seem to think Adams is like terrible though, and I just kind of differ with people there. Like I'm not saying he's amazing. This is a relative game, and I think he's much better than Tafa. But next card, the Anderson card, I have like 4 or 5 money line plays, which is like a lot for me if you follow me. So I'll be talking about those next video I do. Scumdog Millionaire. I think Kraus is actually the favorite. Did it come out yet? Where? I haven't seen it come out. If it has come out, let me know what the line is, and I can kind of think about it. But I haven't seen it come out. I figured Giles would be the favorite. Not that I necessarily agree with that, just because of the size and because like the books might be hesitant putting a guy as a favorite who's taking the fight on 24 hours notice, you know? So we'll kind of just I'll kind of see when the line comes out, but if you know it, throw it down in the chat for sure. And then I think, and then also like you could also play Juan Adams inside the distance line if you just don't want to like risk as much, which is it's come down to minus 147, so people have been playing that as well. Scumbag Millionaire says my friend says it's minus 150 for Kraus. He's still at work, so he's not for sure. Okay, interesting. So I'm surprised that he's minus 150, honestly. Like I figured because of the size that Giles might be the favorite. But I don't know, Kraus is pretty respected and is coming off like a few good wins, so I could see it really going either way. I wouldn't be shocked. Kraus inside the distance plus 120, really. Interesting. So we'll kind of see what happens. I don't know if that's all true. Scumdog he also hasn't like confirmed it. I think his buddy's just texting him that. So I don't know if those are the actual lines because I haven't seen them come out. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. And I won't be live after the event tomorrow because I'm going back to St. Louis. It's my dad's birthday. I'm from St. Louis. I live in Chicago, and I'm going back there to celebrate his birthday. So I don't know how I'm gonna watch the fights tomorrow. Like I pretty much like never really miss a card, but I'll probably like be watching it on my phone or something. So we'll see what happens. Um, but yeah, thanks for all the comments, guys. And I'm gonna roll, and I'm gonna keep kind of doing these live chats. Just like I'll like evolve them a little bit. I'm still kind of getting comfortable doing them, but I'll do them like every Friday. I think at 6 p.m. before every card. Obviously, if it's like most cards are on Saturday, so usually the day before I'll do it kind of when weigh-ins are happening around like 6 p.m. or something. And thanks for the kind words to the people in the channel too. I really, really appreciate that for sure. And if you guys have any ideas on like stuff I can do on the live chats, help me out and comment below, and I'll definitely try to implement those as well because I'm kind of just getting the feel of it all. And yeah, so thanks so much. I'm going to end this stream, and if you have any questions, reach out to me on Twitter. Just comment below. Thank you so much.